Hi, I'm Frederick March. I'm here to show you what the best practices are to change your life and to become more successful in everything you do.
This is episode 43, Persistence.
How you doing? Rev Fred here. So this podcast is about staying on task, staying on your mission. Okay, for me, in the last little bit, I wouldn't say that I've been failing. I could say that I've had issues in areas that I needed to work through. It's never a failure for me. It's always a learning opportunity. But okay, this is an example. In the last little bit, I fell back into eating patterns that were not necessarily great. I even reduced fruit for a while, right? So I wasn't even having any sugar in that area whatsoever. And so, I started having fruit on a regular basis. And then it kind of, I guess, activated my sweet tooth or something, whatever. And so then I had bought some cookies and I ate some cookies. Now, I still was doing intermittent fasting. There's days where, okay, so I had on a regular basis for weeks, maybe months, would be fasting a minimum of 2 to 3 days a week, like full fast. And I was doing that consistently. And it was great. And it was really helping me a lot. And I can really feel progress in a lot of areas, physically and, all that kind of stuff, even emotionally, even thought processes wise. It was helping a lot. Then there was the week and then another week that I fasted one day. It was like, but that's okay. I fasted. And then the weeks after that, I wasn't fasting a full day at all. I was just doing intermittent fasting. So this whole time, even when I would eat, I don't eat until 6 o'clock in the evening, and then I'll have supper, and then I would maybe have a little something of a snack afterwards, but it's not like a sweet snack or nothing like that. It would be like some fruit or something like that. But and all that was great. And then I was moving and doing some exercises, and and I'm still doing that stuff. But then I had some cookies, and then I had some chips, and then and then there was a couple of days where I started eating at noon. So I'd have something for lunch, and then I'd have something for dinner, which is not a bad thing either. But and I wasn't beating myself up about it. I wasn't, ruminating on, oh wow, you're dropping the ball, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. But I can tell you that there was something going on, because as an analogy, it felt like, maybe you have never sailed, but if you're in a sailboat and you're sailing and the wind is blowing hard and your mast is being pulled tight because can't come up with the word for the sail. The sail is full and the boat is going quickly and you're moving fast, and it's all fantastic and great stuff. And you're going for it. But then all of a sudden the wind dies down a little bit and your sail slumps a little, and you don't feel like that momentum forward is as positive as it was. I was feeling that. I was feeling like, oh, I'm not as, energetic about my lifestyle choices and what I'm doing and all that kind of stuff. It's not like I felt bad, because I was still achieving goals. I was still doing my stuff. I was still producing the stuff that I want to produce. I'm still creating the things I want to create. I'm still in the process of leaning down. And I've realized and recognized the fact that I need to do it in a way that's not all at once, super fast. It's taken time, and that's okay. And I'm all right with that. But I'm doing things in order to accomplish that goal. So then I realized, oh, there's something going on. It's like I just didn't feel 100%. And I think that's okay. I was doing that, thinking about it, and like, oh, you're not always going to be like the guy who is like, you could do it, you could do it, you could do it. Every once in a while, you need somebody beside you going, you could do it, you can do it. And it's nothing wrong with that. I think that's normal part of human psychology, And there was a couple things in my life that I know that I was struggling with, like people, talk about, when you are in a mission and you're doing something and you're achieving a goal and you're focused on the goal and you're just doing it, every once in a while a feeling would come in like, I'm not really sure that I'm good enough to do this. I don't think who am I to say that you should act this way or do this or feel this way, or, I'm just a guy struggling myself, you're feeling like what they call imposter syndrome, not oposters syndrome, where you don't feel like you're actually the one that's called to do the thing. And maybe you're not. But that's not what we're doing here. What we're doing here is I am taking the opportunity to work on me with God's help. And I am recognizing my patterns to see how it goes. And the deeper you go, the deeper you dive, the new patterns that come up that you haven't seen before, that you can recognize and then modify and change. And then change your mindset around those things. And if you think you're an imposter, don't think you are. I'm not trying to put out there that I am something that I'm not. I am somebody who's going through a process of changing the way I feel, the way I think, the way I physically appear, the way all these things. My whole life, I'm just changing these processes in my mind and how I think and what I'm thinking. I recently coached somebody who was going through some stuff, and she was saying, how when she would fall off of the wagon, not drinking, but, other things like food-wise, she would beat herself up, and I'm like, so I said to her, don't say something to yourself that you wouldn't say to somebody else that you love. If you see somebody you're loving who's struggling with something, are you going to go over to them and start smacking them over the head going, you're stupid, you're an idiot, what do you do? Why are you eating that thing? Why are you doing? No, you're not going to do that. You're going to love them. And you're going, oh, okay, yeah, you failed, but you can do better. You can do better. We need to do that for us. We can do better. We can do better. Or just say, listen, yes, you ate it. It happened. That's it. It's over. And I don't think it's completely wrong to have cookies and chips and pizza and that kind of stuff every once in a while. I think it's actually important to have those things every once in a while. Now, if you feel that God is putting on your heart not to have any sweets, don't have any sweets. If that's what because I'm not telling you to go against, I'm telling you, the way I've dealt with the situation is I realize as a healthy physical person who is in a healthy weight and has a healthy mindset around food, what would that person think like? That person would think like, I am doing what I'm doing and I'm getting in shape and I'm healthy and I'm fit. And if I want to have a cookie every once in a while, I'll have a cookie. If I want to have a bag of chips every once in a while, I'll have a bag of chips. If I want to have pizza or subs or whatever the situation is, then every once in a while, I'll have it. It's not the end of the world. It's not, you didn't fail. It's just a choice you made. I think we got to recognize and realize that, sometimes when we do something that we think we shouldn't be doing because, we don't want to do them anymore, it's not a failure. It's a learning opportunity, that's for sure. We can learn, okay, maybe there was something pulling us towards that thing that is trying to use it as a way to make us feel comfort or feel like we've earned a prize to do this kind of thing. And if we have those mindsets, well, then we have to look at those things and go, oh, why do I feel that way? Why do I learn that thing? Why do I feel like I need to give myself a reward for something? And recognize maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe for you, that's exactly what you need to motivate you to do what you need to do. Say, for example, you like to have sweets, you like to have cookies or a piece of cake or whatever the situation is, So maybe you make a decision. You like to go hiking. So you know that there's one specific hilltop that's harder to get to than you normally would go to. So when you're normally having your hike, you're doing your hikes, and you're eating well and all this kind of stuff. But this is saying, okay, I'm going to go to this hilltop today. I know it's higher than I normally go. I know it's more difficult than I normally go. I'm taking with me a cake, some cookies, put in my backpack, some coffee, and I'm going to go for that thing. When I get to the top of that thing, I get to sit down, enjoy my cookie, and drink my coffee, and enjoy the view. It's a reward for achieving that. There's nothing wrong with rewarding yourself for making goals and achieving goals. It's a great thing. It's a very good thing. The only reason most people stay on task is because you give yourself these little rewards for moments where you achieve things. Now, if you feel like, oh, that's going to become a habit for me, if it's going to become a habit for you to achieve a difficult goal before you can enjoy something like that, is it really a bad thing? That motivation to get you to the top of a hill that you never got to before, a difficult spot you never got to before? I don't think that's a bad thing. It's not like you're sitting at home in the dark by yourself eating bags of cookies. You're achieving a goal and they're giving you a reward for that. Understanding that that's what you're doing and you're doing it on a purpose to help yourself achieve a goal, a reward. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that if that's how you motivate you to do the things you need to do, I think that's fantastic. Go for it. Do that thing. For me, I think that would be detrimental to myself. I feel like if I want to have a cookie, I should be able to have a cookie and not beat myself up over it. I'm not having a box of cookies. I'm not having it every day. Once a week, I have a cookie. I have a cookie. It's not the worst thing. Yeah. So, it's important. Like even the not feeling like you're actually doing the thing you want to do and feeling like a failure. That's not. I need all of you to hear me. Okay? And I'm hearing myself too, but I need all of you to hear me. That is not unusual to feel that way. It's not unusual. Where that comes from, maybe you need to figure that out. But it's just possible that feeling can motivate you to stay on task. So we have these things that make us feel bad if we do something. But why? Why do we feel bad? We feel bad because we feel like we failed. Well, maybe we got to stop looking at stuff like winning and losing and failing and succeeding. Maybe they're just things that are happening. And yes, you don't want to always fall into a pattern of eating cookies or eating chips because you want to just feel better. That's a different thing altogether. That's something you need to look into, like why you feel that way and why you think that way. Because that is something that can cause you to eat them all the time because you're always wanting to feel a certain way and you're not willing to deal with the emotional stuff and the memories from the past, the programming that we have. That you need to look into. But if you're in a place where you know that you're doing great, you're not having any issues, you're running the race, you're achieving your goals, and you decide to have pizza, or you decide to have some cookies or chips or a sub or whatever, Kentucky Fried Chicken, whatever it is you feel like you want to have. Nothing wrong with that. It's not a failure. It's not a failure. It's not a reward either. It's just what it is. Because it's going to help you stay on path on a regular basis when you know that every once in a while, if you feel like you want to have a treat, you have a treat. You enjoy what you want to eat, you enjoy it. I would say that you need to enjoy the everyday food that you're having anyways to make sure that it's tasty, but it doesn't need to be unhealthy. But you can have something that's unhealthy every once in a while. If we can't ever do that without feeling like a failure, we're going to fall into patterns of when we do that, because of whatever situation we're in, we think of ourselves as failures, and we fall in a pattern, and that pattern can cause us to fall off the path altogether. And we can't think that way. That's a dangerous way to think. That's going to cause more harm than good. Because the reality is, you can't be that kind of person that always 100%, unless you have no taste buds, unless you have no past and no growing up and having food as a reward of some sort. If you have none of that in your past, I could see, or even if you grew up being hungry because you didn't have any food, that could be, a compensation as well. Having more food than you need because you at one point had no food. And so you look into that patterns and look into those things and recognize, why you're doing what you're doing. If you're in a healthy place and if you're doing all this kind of thing, it's not a failure. It's a treat every once in a while that's okay to have. That'll keep you on the path on a regular basis if you know that it's not a big deal if today I decide to go eat something I want to eat. Not a big deal, because I know the very next day I'm back on eating healthy in the way I'm supposed to be healthy. It's not a problem. It's when you do it on a consistent basis when it becomes an issue. If it's your daily routine to have something that you shouldn't be having, if it's your minute routine to have something you shouldn't have, if you have a tendency to buy a bag of cookies and eat all of them, maybe don't buy a bag of cookies, go and get a fancy cookie, maybe get one or two of those fancier cookies, and then that would be your snack, and then not have anything else at home that you could consume that cause you. Just a way of thinking about a pattern of how to deal with stuff. So keeping yourself on path, on mission. I'm going through this right now, and I'm dealing with this thing, and I am not worried about sharing it with you guys. I think that's something I need to do, because I don't want people to think that I made a decision and that decision is kept and I never have any issues and I never have to fight it. It's not the case. It was a daily fight for a long time, and now it's maybe a weekly fight, and it'll get to a point where maybe it's a monthly fight, and it doesn't take a long time to figure out, oh, this is an old pattern that's coming up. That's okay, I can deal with that, And then when I do enjoy a cookie, when I do enjoy a thing, not to lose the wind from my sail and stop my motivation, my movement from going forward, and letting it trying to kill it, makes it flat, and then I have no movement whatsoever, and then maybe even start to get pulled back the other direction and lose my way because I decided, oh, I failed, that means I'm a failure, what's the point? And then giving up, and then just going back into the old habits. Not a good thing to do. Done it a lot in my past. That was my pattern. My pattern was starting to work out and pushing myself too hard and getting hurt and then stopping, and then years until I start back up again. Eating a bunch of food that I shouldn't be eating, and then just saying, well, whatever, and then just eating whatever I wanted to, whenever I wanted to, just because I wanted to, and blow back up. And so, even feeling like I'm a disappointment and just diving into watching endless hours of TV and losing the thoughts, not listening to, not spending time with God in the morning, being still and knowing He is God, not reading my word, not a lot of things could happen from just feeling like, well, that's it, I'm a failure. You're not a failure. I'm guaranteeing you right now, you right now, you are not a failure. You may have failed, correct? You may have failed. So, you failed. Let's look at why you failed. See the patterns. Look into it. Pray about it. Get somebody who is a man or woman of God who knows you, who can pray with you and see if they can get God's wisdom on why. You never know. Okay. Stay on mission. Don't beat yourself up when you fall. That's exactly what the enemy, your flesh, wants to take place. It does not want you to be in control. It does not want you to be in dominion of this body, of your mindset, of your thoughts. It does not want you to have dominion. It wants to be in dominion itself. It wants to have whatever it wants. Your microbiome wants to have all the sugar it wants to have, and it's going to reach out for it, and it's going to try to get more and try to get more, and you keep it down. You need to give some. Hey, you have sugar every once in a while? Well, you got some. Okay, that's it. That's all you're getting. No more. It's like a dog. You give them a treat. You can't give them treats every 5 seconds because then they'll be really big and they'll be sick and they'll die earlier. A treat every once in a while. There you go. Okay, I love you. If you're struggling, know this. You're normal. Everybody struggles. Everybody struggles all the time. What you do with that struggle is important. How you step back up once you fall, that's important. Don't fall on the ground and stay there going, well, that's it. I'm a loser. I'm staying here on the ground and I'm never going to get up again. Not the way to go. Hit the ground, you go, oh, I fell. Let's get back up. Okay, why did I fall? Oh, I tripped over that thing. Oh, what was that from? Oh, that's from my past. Oh, that was from my mindsets from about this thing. Okay. Well, I don't want to think that way anymore. So what do I say that's different? And how do I reconcile that thought from my past? And learn how to do that. It's not impossible. If I could do it, you could do it. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye. See you next time. Ciao.